And they use those tools through their young life, through their middle life, into their old life. And when they died, they passed them on to their children. We had the same tools. They were made well. Like a good axe can last lifetimes. There's this chaos in our life that becomes our normal. And so it's sort of like a uncomfortable vibration within us that is normal, as opposed to being born into a world with a certain set of tools. They're good enough for dad, they're good enough for granddad. That's what I'm going to use. You learn to use them. You learn to use them with confidence and great ability, finesse, and you never have to change. Years ago, people believed in community, even if they didn't think about it. Like, I believe in community. My community is going to take care of me. They just did. You know, they knew that the community would take care of them because that's all they had seen and that's the only way it worked. And you knew everybody around you. And if somebody needed help, you were going to help them. If you needed help, a neighbor was going to see it and they were going to help you. That's an earlier way of life. Largely, that's gone.
You know how much feed you can waste really quick if you don't have a really waste-free system of feeding. I mean, especially something like a chicken. I mean, chickens will get in, they'll scratch anything. And they've got this big old beak, that's kind of curved. And you would think that they would just want to go in and eat what's in front of them. But if we ate like a chicken, we would take all the food that's on the dining room table. Let's say we're all in there for supper, and you got these serving bowls, serving dishes. And if we ate like a chicken, we would take every one of those bowls, turn it upside down on the table, try to see what's on the bottom of it. So they come up and they can't scratch and eat at the same time. So they, as Michael Pollan describes it, he says it looks like backwards breakdancing. They come up and they see that they can't lean forward and eat at the same time they scratch. So they got to stand up to keep their balance, and they scratch. And then they back up and then they scratch, and then they back up, right? So chickens are made for exploring. They're made for sorting through and exploring things.
Hey folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome to the Farm Vlog. Today we are at the Homesteaders of America conference here in Virginia, and we are about to shove some cameras in some people's faces. So right here we have Stacy, whom I did not meet when I went to her house, but now I have Stacy right here in front of me.
And you have facial
Josh,
hair.
Stony Ridge Farmer, and I do have
You
facial
do,
hair.
it grew quick. Oh my gosh, you have a beard like so fast.
Yeah, that's what it takes. Who are you?
I'm Kaylee. Nice
Kaylee, I'm Josh. This is Kaylee.
Hi.
See, they're pretty girls here. That was neat, guys. This is totally kind of off the cuff. Let's go over here. So we have Grandpa's Workshop. Grandpa's Workshop right here. This guy is making stuff out of wood, and this is some awesome stuff. We're going to cruise the camera around and show you what he's making. He's going to come and get one of our tobacco bars. It's going to be awesome. Let's cruise around a little more. Let's check out some of this stuff. So he's making all artisan wood benches out of old barn wood and stuff like that. Really, really, really cool. Now we're going to go over here. We're going to go get in M.I. Gardener's face. So right here is this guy called M.I. Gardner or Michigan Gardner. Do you prefer Michigan Gardner? Or
I get both. It doesn't quite matter.
So this is your M.I. Gardner. Guy's like 6'4". I think if I'd beat him in arm wrestling competition.
Yeah, you probably would.
So let's go run around and find some other people. These guys, I'm sorry guys, didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. This is, who are you guys?
Rocky Bottom Farms.
Rocky Bottom Farms, and you guys make stuff?
Make goat milk soaps and lotions.
Goat milk soaps and lotions. So guys, go online, check out Rocky Bottom Farm. All right, we're going over to the Premier One Fence Company. Check this out, guys. So right here, this is called an omelet. The omelet chicken coop. Now it's kind of windy out here. Everything's kind of blowing around. Really, really cool chicken coop setup. Check Check them out, omelet.com. We're gonna put these Premier One fence guys on the spot right here. So who do I have in front of me?
Hi, I'm Joe from Premier.
Joe, good to meet you. So Joe, I've got some Premier One fence on our farm. Thanks to
you
Joe.
should.
Yeah, thanks to Joe. So our goats are fenced in with Premier One fencing. We really love it. So let's take you around and show you a little bit about Premier One fencing and what they have. You guys have a display set up over here?
I do
let's
have
go.
a few rolls up today. Up
Okay.
front we have our VersaNet 60, so that's a garden and deer fence.
Okay.
It has tight spacings at the bottom to keep the little critters out, and it has a little bit of height to it, keep the deer out.
Nice.
Put this up before your garden goes in for the season and bait it. That way the deer aren't in the habit of eating your garden.
Oh, gotcha. So not only you guys make electric fence netting, you have some that you can energize or not energize over here too. Is that right?
Yes, that is a shocker knot fence on the inside
Gotcha.
here. So it has a chick tight mesh on one side, and
Yeah.
on the outside you have your normal energized strand. So you keep your broody hens with their young chicks
Cool.
safely contained.
Yeah, and
keep
you
the
don't-
predators away too.
You don't have to pop the baby chicks.
No.
That's good. Awesome stuff. Guys, we really like this fencing. It's good stuff. So kind of wanted to walk around here, guys, and just run and gun and kind of show you what the Homesteaders America conference is all about. We got staff up here. So let's run up here. We're going to run a little bit. So this is staff for the Homesteaders of America conference. So what's your name?
I'm sure it's a two-family homestead. Yes, I do.
Two-family homestead. Hey, nice. So that's awesome. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We're cruising.
Right,
We're
t-shirts
cruising.
and
Yeah. All sorts of YouTubers running around. Even YouTubers interviewing other YouTubers running around here, guys. We're gonna run over here, and there's a guy called Big Bear. Big Bear. Let's run over here. Who is Big Bear? Who is Big Bear? This is Big Bear. This is Big Bear on YouTube. I'm Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer.
How do you
On
doing?
YouTube.
Ridge. I'm Country Girl.
Country Girl, good to meet you. See, there's all kinds of YouTubers out here,
You got
guys.
Andy's backyard shop over
Andy's
there.
back. Good to meet you. I like looking.
No.
Wait a minute.
No, he's not gonna play this off. This is a Homesteaders of America special.
Yeah.
They dyed his hair those colors last night.
Who did that?
I was attacked.
That would be me.
I needed predator control, and he was nowhere to be found.
That don't look like grease, man.
No, no, they did him wrong.
Good stuff, guys. Check out these channels. If you don't know who they are, Google it. There's a fire over here, guys. There's a guy named Josh. So my name's Josh. This guy's named Josh. JJL Forge.
Hey,
you
guys.
know who I am?
I don't.
He doesn't know who I am. I don't care. You don't know who I'm. Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer.
Stony Ridge.
Stoney
Okay,
Ridge
I
Farmer.
know the name.
He's got some awesome stuff going on here. So what are you making?
So right now I had somebody ask for a demo on a knife.
Okay.
So I've got a small piece of coil spring with me. I just happened to find, and we are working on shaping that out into a sharp, pointy object.
Nice. Is it a Ford coil spring or a Chevy or?
You know, I
what do you got?
don't know. It might be actually a Ford.
Okay, it's a Ford coil spring, so it might break, guys. Okay.
It just might. It might. First thing I did this morning, yesterday we started making this axe hatchet, right?
Yeah.
So we actually went out and got some borax for some flux, and we forge welded that solid today, this morning. So that was first thing off the bat this morning. Now that's as far as I can take that while we're here. I don't have any oil to quench it in, and I'm nervous about quenching it in water. Sometimes those things go boom. So I don't want to do that here. A couple other things that we've done. These are older. They're still work in progress, as you can see, but they are Damascus steel. This one's a piece of scrap Damascus I happen to have. This one's 380 layers. Count on that one on the folder. So yeah, we do all kinds of stuff.
Guys, check out JJL Forge. I can't tell you everything everybody's doing here. You got to look at it yourself. All right, let's go shove a camera in Justin Rhodes' face right now. We're gonna run through here. So we're back at the Premier One fence area, and Justin Rhodes doesn't have a camera in his hand, but he is right here.
I do have a camera in hand.
He's got a camera.
This is attached to my body. You can barely even know I'm doing that.
He's
just
that
so
good.
used to
He's that good.
It's just hanging here like my fifth child. Actually, let me introduce you to Big Jerry.
Ooh, Big Jerry's
That's his
ADD. Beautiful.
Yes.
I can't run and gun with that thing. I'm Josh,
Hey,
Stoney Ridge
Justin.
Farmer.
Okay,
and
nice to meet
your
you.
wonderful wife.
Hello.
Good to meet you. Kids at home?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
This is
Slept 11
vacation.
hours last night.
Awesome.
11 hours the night before and 10 hours last night.
You look well rested.
So
You guys,
we're ready.
your
We're ready to
color's
conquer
good.
the world.
Guys, they won't have to color correct any of this film. Their color
No.
looks great.
No.
Good stuff. This is just basically a festival for homesteaders, for folks to learn inside there. Joel Salatin is speaking right now. I thought I'd run out here and introduce you guys to some fun people. Great setup out here. We are near Winchester, Virginia. I forget the name of the little town, but it's a cute little town. Pretty cool place to be. There is a little bit of an interview going on with White House on the Hill going on down here. So we're gonna run down there and see if we can get in their face.
I think hatching projects are probably the most exciting because it's like Christmas where you don't know what's gonna happen. It might be a total failure. It might be awesome. You don't know what's gonna come out. So it's like a mystery every time it happens. It's the anticipation that builds up for it.
I'm gonna get in these people's grills right here. So we got some YouTubers right here, some more farm homesteading type YouTubers. Tell us who you are.
Oh, I'm going to be in a Freedom Home.
You going first?
Sandwich here.
Yeah. So White House on the Hill. Lips are
going on?
chapped. Can I borrow your chapstick?
There you go, buddy.
I'm good, man.
Needed. It's windy out here.
So
what's going on? I'm Jake, White House on the Hill, and you've got Jack. You've got Tangi with Freedom Homestead.
Freedom Homestead.
That's
nice.
us.
Yep.
So homesteading channels here at Homesteaders of America Conference. I don't have a red shirt. I should have volunteered. I just heard about this a couple weeks ago from Doug, with Doug and Stacy, and I just shoved the camera in Stacy's face. So, guys, thanks a lot for putting this on. Thanks a lot for being here. Thanks
for being here.
for
It's
everything.
a labor of love, and we
Yeah.
want more homesteaders and more YouTube homesteaders to come and
Absolutely.
just
Now,
learn from each other.
me
We'll
put
put you in a red shirt next year.
nice.
Yeah.
Let me put you on the spot. Do you know who Stoney Ridge Farmer is?
Yes, I've
Who-
heard that name.
That's me.
Yes, yes.
I don't know. He used to have a pretty cool beard.
I used to have a pretty cool beard. I did cut the beard off, so I look more professional now.
All right.
Once again, next year, check out Homesteaders of America. This is going to be goodbye for now. So check out the Homesteaders of America conference. Lots of good people. If you want to meet a lot of YouTubers, a lot of fun people. Joel Salatin's in there speaking. Eustace Conway was this morning. Just a great time. We all had a great time here. We'll see you next time on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Don't forget to click that like button, subscribe to the channel. All right? Woo! Everybody, woo! Come on now! Woo!
Land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm proud of who I am, and I'm proud of what I made on the Stoney Ridge. Woo!
Even if they didn't use them well, even when they could hardly pick them up, they would try their hand at it. And they figured out how to use those tools, and they used those tools through their young life, through their middle life, into their old life, and when they died, they passed them on to their children. We had the same tools. They were made well, like a good axe can last lifetimes. Nowadays, in comparison, if you get a new piece of technology, let's say you've got one of the nicest DeWalt saws on the market. In a few months, it might not be the nicest DeWalt saw on the market. There's a better one, a different one. It's got a new bell and a new whistle. You know, it's got a laser guide on it. So the norm nowadays is constant change. And when you think about it in a psychological way, that means a person has to completely being adjusted to chaos. Not to mention the economic thing. Well, I gotta buy this new thing to keep up, so you sort of get rid of the old one. Actually, there's planned obsolescence in there also. It's not made to last for so long. A lot of my old tools that I use are hundreds of years old, and they still work just as well now as they ever have. But there's this chaos in our life that becomes our normal, and so it's sort of like a uncomfortable vibration within us that is normal, as opposed to being born into a world with a certain set of tools. They're good enough for dad, they're good enough for granddad. That's what I'm going to use. You learn to use them. You learn to use them with confidence and great ability, finesse, and you never have to change. You get to have that good confidence, which is another psychological feature of existence. You know, you have a good feeling about being able to do well with your chisel. You keep it razor sharp, don't let anybody use it. And when you put it on a piece of wood and push, it goes right where you want it, and you can learn to expect a certain result, and you get that result, and you can achieve what you need when you're building your building. And so that feels good. And it's good to feel good. It's one of the best things there is. Nowadays, it's, you're like, I don't, like, honestly, good example of my own life, I have a cell phone. I don't know half the features, not even a quarter of the features of the phone. But I have a little bit of training in a different way of living. I just say, well, I'm okay with that. But some people aren't. They're like, I got to figure out this feature. Or they're spending 15 minutes trying to figure out how to take a picture. And it's like, well, I knew how the last phone worked, but I don't know how this one is going to work. And in about 4 months or so, or 2 days after the guarantee wears out, they're going to have to get another one because that one's going to break. You know, so I'm just painting a picture of a little bit of our material culture, we call it, in anthropology. One of my degrees is anthropology. It's the study of people. It's a good study. It just helps us look at ourselves. And so material culture, that's the stuff that we have. And a lot of, if you look back at our ancestral ways, early people, they didn't have as much stuff to keep up with, to keep clean, to take care of, to fix, to oil, to sharpen. They just had a little bit, and it was more easily manageable. Nowadays, we have lots and lots of stuff. I'm guilty of it too. I like a lot of tools. I'm a tool man. I'm a collector. The only difference between me and most hoarders is I use most of my stuff. You know? But it's good to have a lot of options. So it's just interesting. All this goes back to one thought. Reevaluate your basic assumptions. Like reevaluate, like constantly look at it and go, am I doing the right thing? The way I'm living, is this the best choice? Is there a better choice? It's like if you had choices in living, like, do you want to live sort of an okay way where you can get by, or a medium way, or the best way? And you got to figure out what's best and what values support that. So that can be important to think about. Sort of like going through life consciously. Things have changed, just like I'm talking about the technology change. The way of life has changed. The thought processes, the belief systems. Years ago, people believed in community. Even if they didn't like think about it, like, I believe in community, my community is going to take care of me. They just did. You know, they knew that the community would take care of them because that's all they had seen and that's the only way it worked. And you knew everybody around you. And if somebody needed help, you were going to help them. If you needed help, a neighbor was going to see it and they were going to help you. That's an earlier way of life. Largely, that's gone. So it's interesting to look at the way we're living and realize that the way we're living really largely is our choice. When I was young, I made a choice to not be normal. I made a choice to just leave the normal way of living because I was in a relatively normal situation in a suburban household. And the day I turned 17, I walked out in the forest and I started just hunting and gathering my food and making my things. And if I didn't have something to eat, well, I went hungry and I learned about that. If I didn't have a tool and I needed it, I learned how to make it.
So number one would be clean animals. And I've seen a lot of dirty animals and dirty corrals, dirty chicken yards, dirty pig pens, dirty horse pens. Number one. Number two, efficiency. All right? Efficiency. And the first one I'll mention here is just feed waste. You know how much feed you can waste really quick if you don't have a really waste-free system of feeding. I mean, especially something like a chicken. I mean, chickens will get in, they'll scratch anything. And they've got this big old beak, you know, that's kind of curved. And you would think that they would just want to go in and eat what's in front of them. But if we ate like a chicken we would take all the food that's on the dining room table. Let's say we're all in there for supper, and you got these serving bowls, serving dishes, and if we ate like a chicken, we would take every one of those bowls, turn it upside down on the table, try to see what's on the bottom of it. That's the way a chicken eats, you know. And they come up and they don't eat what's on the top of the ground, you know. They want to see what's under there. So they come up and they can't scratch and eat at the same time. So they, as Michael Pollan describes it, he says it looks like backwards breakdancing. You know, they come up and they see that they can't lean forward and eat at the same time they scratch. So they got to stand up to keep their balance, and they scratch, and then they back up a little bit, and then they scratch, and then they back up, you know, right? And so chickens are made for exploring. They're made for sorting through and exploring things. Well, when they do that in the feeder, that's not a good thing. And so wasted feed, you know, what does feed cost? Let's just say feed's 30 cents a pound. Well, you know what on a 4-foot tray chicken feeder, you know what a pound of feed looks like around that feeder? It ain't much.